This is Till the Last Credit coming at you with an early review of Fate of the Furious. It is the 8th installment of the obviously long-running franchise. I'm here with Dylan. He's just here doing the review with me, even though I hadn't seen the movie, because I thought it'd be more interesting than me just doing it alone, since he's looking forward to the movie as well.
Yeah, I can ask questions. It's going to have no spoilers in it.
So overall, I thought Fate of the Furious was a blast. Going into it, I was really looking forward to it because I thought the story angle with Dom going rogue was really interesting, and I love that Jason Statham was joining the team because, one, he's Jason Statham. Two, he's just great as a villain.
And three, he's Jason Statham.
Yeah. So yeah, let's start with that, the story. I thought the story was actually really well handled. The reasoning with what's going on with Dom, obviously not going to get into that. I thought that worked really well, and the action is just insane. Like, it just keeps... This movie, with the story and the action, it just keeps raising the stakes, and the pacing works wonders. Like, one of the problems I had with the... which Dylan didn't have, was with Furious 6, is that it just felt too long to me. The second act felt like the third act. While the third act was great, it just became a little too much. I don't think this was a problem here. What's impressive about this movie is they do some telling and not showing, which works really well. For example, how the first trailer starts, that's how the sequence in the movie starts too. Like, if they would have put that action scene in there, it would have really taken the movie's pacing down. Yeah, the action is just insane, from the prison sequence to the New York sequence, the submarine sequence. It just keeps raising the bar with... I mean, the New York sequence is pretty insane, so I don't know if it's hard to compare that in the submarine sequence. But I'd say the submarine sequence, it just has the things of, like, the stakes being raised more and more, and then it just getting crazier and crazier, and it works really well. It doesn't feel like, regardless of, like, if one's the bigger action scene or not, it never feels like the movie, for lack of a better term, it doesn't feel like the movie shoots its load too quickly. Yeah. I was trying to think of a better way to say that. I'm just like, I got nothing. And the actors here work incredibly well together, particularly The Rock and Jason Statham. Their chemistry is just great, which, you could tell from the trailer. And then we got some new additions. We got Charlize Theron as the villain. Not my favorite villain, but I thought she did well. I just think Luke Evans is hard to top. Even though I like Furious 7 and Fate of the Furious more as movies than Furious 6, I think Luke Evans is the best villain, probably, but Charlize Theron did well, and you could tell she's having fun with it, like everyone else in the cast. Scott Eastwood surprised me a little bit. There were points where he was just Scott Eastwood, but there were other times where he fit really well, and his chemistry with the rest of the gang was natural. Christopher Hivju from Game of Thrones, that's our second person from Game of Thrones after Nathalie Emuel. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Yeah, he does really well too. It was really cool to see him as a villain in this, as opposed to his character on Game of Thrones. Yeah, this movie's just so satisfying. It has a lot of crowd-pleasing moments, from the action scene to just other stuff happening in the movie. The audience I saw it in was so into it. They were freaking out at everything. It was so much fun. Directing-wise, we got a new person taking over the franchise, with F. Gary Gray, who I thought did a really good job. I thought he brought a tone to Fast and Furious that was consistent with the franchise, but also unique for what he was going with. And I've heard some people saying that they didn't think he did as good of a job with the action as other people in the franchise. Which, I mean, I thought he did really well with it. I haven't seen the movie in IMAX yet, so I think it'll look even better on an IMAX screen. But he did a great job with the action. My only problem with him and the action is there were a few times where it was a little too close up. It wasn't a big deal. It just seemed inconsistent with what he was with the rest of the movie, and you had cool shots that should have looked a lot better. Like I was saying earlier, the story works really well. They take it in a really different direction, and it pays off. My only main problem with the writing, I mean, some of it, yeah, a lot of it's unrealistic, which I don't have a problem with. I know some people do, but it's a Fast and Furious movie. Like, that's the fun of it. It's supposed to be, like, crazy, just like, oh, what are they going to do next? Like, they're probably going to go to space at some point. But, yeah, my only main problem with the screenplay was I thought some of the dialogue didn't really hit. Like, it was just dialogue that, like, should have, like, it was supposed to, like, ooh, that was good, but it just ended up falling flat. Most of the dialogue was great. The actor's delivery is great, and it really hits the audience like it should. But some of it is just like, okay, you could have done better with that. So, Dylan, considering you haven't seen the movie yet, do you have any questions for moi?
Just to confirm for everyone else, I already know, but there is no post-credit scene, correct?
Yes, unless they do a thing where they put it in only with the regular show times, there is no post-credit scene.
Yeah, they did that with the Deadpool thing with Logan, so it's entirely possible. But
yeah, that's true. The last time these movies had a post-credit scene was Furious 6. People knew about that earlier, so I don't think that'll be the case.
Okay.
That'll do it for To the Last Credits early review of The Fate of the Furious. Expect a full spoiler review with Dylan, Darren, and I Friday or Saturday, depending on when.
We'll probably record it Friday and it'll be up Saturday.
Yeah. Assuming everyone will get to see the movie by Friday, which will probably be the case. So, yeah, in the comments, let us know what you thought of The Fate of the Furious. Where does it rank in the franchise? It's always interesting to see the ranking of everybody's, or the ranking of everyone, because there are some people that don't think Tokyo Drift's that bad, and then there's some people who think it's a crime against cinema. I'll go into my full ranking in the full spoiler review, but I'd say this is between. I definitely still like 5 the best, because Fast 5 is a miracle. But either this is the second best or third best. I'm having trouble deciding. Maybe once I see it again, maybe I'll have an answer by the time we record the spoiler review. You can find us, Till the Last Credit, at tillthelastcredit.com. You can find our Facebook at Till the Last Credit. Instagram is Till the Last Credit, and Twitter is Till the Last Cred. I'm Miller.
I'm Dylan.
This is Till the Last Credit signing off.